Indianapolis, Indiana, but not at the Speedway. We're at the RCA Dome for racing. Pace Supercross, round 15 of the series. Hello and welcome, I'm Paul Page. 1 week ago, Jeremy McGrath wrapped up an unprecedented 6 Supercross championship. He did it all in 7 short years. So tonight, he's the target of everybody else who would like to beat the new champion. And in the points fight, LaRocco, Lusk, Ward, Pichon, they are all battling for their very own positions. Now, David Bailey, you won a Supercross title. You know what it feels like.
Well, Paul, I know what it feels like to win 1 Supercross title, but not 6. McGrath has just dominated this entire decade. And the thing that I like about him is once he wraps the title, he still has the motivation to go on and win the final races.
What about these other guys in the points fight?
Well, they only have 2 more opportunities to knock McGrath off that top spot on the podium, and there's a lot of guys with motivation. Certainly all the Kawasaki guys have a good shot. Also Pichon, a lot of guys are due.
And then there's one special guy, Mike LaRocco. This is his home state.
Well, Mike has a lot of support here in this venue, and he needs to pull off a win here before the season's over with.
All right, let's take a look at the track.
This track design tonight is a little bit different from what we've seen so far. To the right of your screen, here's the starting line that goes into a tight left-hand corner. As the riders get into the corner right here, they're all going to get pushed wide, so the inside is going to be advantaged. What happens, it's one huge continuous left-hand turn that goes all the way back in front of the starting line again. Right in the middle of all that is a whoop section. For those of you who don't know what whoops are, it's more like moguls, except the riders are going to try to fight a straight line through there rather than zigzagging. Another whoop section as they approach the finish line, which is right here. And after the finish line at turn 12, they're going to make a right-hand turn and do it all over again.
A nice compact track on the floor of the stadium. Heat number 1 for the 250s. The focus here, guys like Mike LaRocco. He is from Indiana. He's not won. This could be an important year for him.
Well, judging by the signs up in the crowd, he's a huge crowd favorite here. Holding down second place in the points. He wants to win one before it's over.
Ezra Lusk, he has a crack at the Vans, $25,000 for the Triple Crown. Ricky Carmichael, so much hope this season, but it has not yet come to pass.
He's been fast, but he's found himself on the ground quite a few times. He's trying to find that rhythm that'll get him through 20 laps. This afternoon, he jokingly said to me in the pits, I won practice, so we'll see what happens.
So at Indianapolis, we are ready for heat number 1 of the 250cc's, what should be a tremendous night, especially with the extra impetus that Mike LaRocco has to try and win here. He's chosen a position on the far left side for the first left-hand turn. Then the course comes back and cuts across itself, which makes it fairly interesting.
It does that quite a bit during the series, Paul, but here in Indianapolis, it does it very quick. So if the rider has trouble at the gate, he's got to be on his toes for the riders coming back and across in front of the starting line so quick. That inside starting position is, I think, a big advantage. If I were to line up down there, I'd pick a spot from where Carmichael's lined up or to his left. Everything I've seen so far this afternoon has drifted wide in that first corner, and the guys that just creep around the inside come out in good shape.
So Paul Delorier spends the last moment with LaRocco. And hopefully throughout the evening, you'll be able to hear the comments between those two. We do have a mic on it. Get your revs up. Now they all begin to take a look down to the line. The 30-second board comes up. Mechanics clear away from the line. At the gate, the focus is on that first left-hander.
Look at the intensity on LaRocco. He better get a good jump from where he's sitting or he'll get closed out the first 10 feet.
Remember, these heats very much like qualifiers. 2 heats, 2 semis, a last chance qualifier, and then to the main. So the engines now begin to come up. Board sideways, we're ready to go. Keep an eye on number 3, LaRocco. And Lusk gets a great start. Lusk comes to the inside, swings across with a hole shot, takes the lead.
Beautiful move by Lusk in the first corner. Played it cool.
John Demon drops into second, LaRocco third.
Carmichael was in good shape in the first corner, but you've got to get through there smooth or you can drop positions. He finds himself in 4th right now, which is the final transfer spot, so he's still in pretty good shape.
But the Georgian, Ezra Lusk, who you may remember winning at the Dallas Supercross last year on ABC Sports, is beginning to pull away. No, now they begin to close. Still, he's got a fantastic lead.
Small mistake at the beginning of that whoop section by Ezra. Looks like he's going to open it right back up. Demuth, rather, a privateer here, holding down a very inspiring second place. Privateers don't stay up there that long usually.
Right behind him is LaRocco, sits in third. Chasing him, of course, is Ricky Carmichael. So much promise for the young Carmichael this year, coming out of an incredible season in the 125s. But boy, he has not been able to convert that into 250 success.
Mike typically takes a couple of laps to get himself into the rhythm. You don't have that luxury in the main event against guys like Ezra, as you can see right now, also Jeremy McGrath. But as the race progresses, Mike starts to find his rhythm and is very fast.
There's your top positions in the upper left corner of the screen, as Ezra Lusk got a great start and was able to pull away pretty quickly. And second is Demuth, followed by LaRocco. We'll be back with more from Indianapolis.
It possesses a passion inspired by the world's fastest Falcon. And a history that could only come from Suzuki. Introducing the incredible GSX 1300R Hayabusa, the largest displacement sports bike Suzuki has ever built. It's proof you don't need wings to fly.
Everybody I know calls her the cow, even people I don't know. I threw a parade for the cow because it definitely needed something to honor this moment. 300,000! It's really saying something to think that we went through 15 New England winters. It's just an amazing vehicle. It's been a really good buddy. It's been a good friend. And heck, we just need another excuse for a party.
Toyota trucks. How many miles can you put on?
I've been racing since I was 3. I'm a pilot. I like to fly a little bit. Those guys are tough to beat. No matter what, we want a Honda up front. I guess you could say I was just a little bit hairier than the other kids. They said I was hairy like a bear, and then I was Yogi Bear, and now it's just Yogi.
Je m'appelle Michael Pichon, j'ai 23 ans, j'habite en France.
I just feel like I'm on the right team and on the right place.
Try not to think about who's behind you. You know, you try to always race in front of you.
You feel like you can be free.
Supercross is brought to you by Suzuki. During Suzuki Fest 99, get $400 worth of free accessories and great financing on selected models. And by Honda Motorcycles and the 1999 Honda Race Team. Honda, ride red.
Back at Indianapolis, heat number 1 of the 250s. Ezra Lusk has led from the drop of the gate, followed by Demuth and Mike LaRocco.
LaRocco now, you can see he's starting to find his rhythm, putting the pressure on Demuth. That's going to wear on Demuth here, if it already hasn't.
Oh, there he is, right alongside. Now it's become a drag race between the two. LaRocco comes around and moves into second place. Now, Mike LaRocco is a man on a mission. He's not won this year. He's hoping that skill and the Hoosier crowd will help.
Right now, what he's really concerned about is try to close the gap on the leader, Ezra Lusk. If he can do that, then he knows he's on pace. If he can get close enough to study some of the things that Ezra's doing, that'll be even better. Be able to use that in the main event.
Your top 5 with Jimmy Button, number 10, sitting there in 5th spot now. We've not mentioned him before. Ezra Lusk, though, on the Honda, very, very powerful here today. Battle is back here at 3rd place. Demuth and Carmichael.
Demuth doing a fine job. I mentioned already that the privateers don't often stay up there that long.
56.5 the lap time.
Here Josh is just surrounded by factory riders. Now Button on the four-stroke goes by on the outside. That's the same section he got passed by LaRocco. So he's struggling in that particular four jumps, a couple of right-handers, a lot of different ways to take that section, and he doesn't seem to have it dialed in yet. He's fast enough to hold off these factory riders.
So with Carmichael moving into third, the top four, remember, advance in these 6-lap heats. Right now, it's Luss, LaRocco, Carmichael, and Button that will advance all the way to the final.
LaRocco's mechanic giving the signal, good rhythm. The gap is staying about the same between the leader and second place, LaRocco. Here's Carmichael trying to stay in contact with LaRocco, but he's got a little bit of pressure from Button now.
Just past the halfway point. I think we said 6, really 8 laps in the heat, 6 in the semis. Keeping an eye on Carmichael with Jimmy Button there on 10, running in 4th and closing the gap.
At our last round in New Orleans, Button won his heat race very fast, went down the first corner of the main event, just ripped the bike apart. So he really didn't have an opportunity to show his speed. Here he does.
Ezra Lusk has moved the lead out now to 3.5 seconds over second place Mike LaRocco. But if it goes this way, it looks like LaRocco will go straight to the final, straight into the main from this first heat. That'll be great news for him.
Even better news is the farther up you finish in your qualifying, the better choice you get for the main event starting gate pick. Second place here would put him in that top 3 or 4 picks to the starting gate for the main event, depending on if this heat race is faster than Jeremy McGrath's coming up next.
So Mike LaRocco, who now sits in second place behind Ezra Lusk. And if he can stay there, of course, he will transfer to the final direct. The top 4 in each of these first heats go right to the final. You don't do it, you got to come back and race again. Unbelievable. Every time they take that jump, it just takes your breath away.
The thing about that jump, Paul, is that they're just coming out of a left-hander. They're getting ready to go into a right-hander, and in the air, they're thinking so many things. It doesn't even phase them that they're up in the air. You'll see them reach up and pull off a tearaway to clear their vision once again. It's all second nature to them.
Ricky Carmichael, number 9, behind him, Button. That's where the fight is. Currently, Button occupying that transfer point, 4th place.
Carmichael experimenting with a different line down that straightaway back there. To go back to Lusk, entering the whoop section.
If there's going to be a challenge for 4th, it would come from Steve Lamson, but it doesn't seem likely at this point. At the front, Lusk has this thing handled. White flag, 1 lap to go.
Watch Ezra as he comes out of this left-hand turn. Jumps into the whoop section right there. Great timing. And right back on the power as he goes in front of his mechanic to get a signal over the triple. Been very fast all afternoon.
Run started with Ezra Lusk getting the whole shot, taking the lead. He stayed there. Mike LaRocco on 3 finally was able to move up into second place. Ricky Carmichael has come to 3rd, and Jimmy Button is in 4th. So those are the top 4. Those are the ones that will transfer.
Ezra's got a lot of head of steam from his win last week. Still got the ball rolling. Sending a message to Jeremy McGrath in the next heat. This is the pace you got to keep up with.
You see Lusk away from the track. He's almost a slight young rider. Doesn't seem like he has the power to throw these 250s around in the air like he does. He makes the move for the finish, up to the finish jump. And Ezra Lusk has taken the win here. LaRocco, Carmichael, and Button follow him. They will all transfer. We'll be back.
It's time for the Nichols Appliance Center Workout Club. Let's warm up with pushing a 250-pound Frigidaire refrigerator on our first delivery of the day. Then break for lunch.
You got any salt in there?
Next, use those legs to thrust the Frigidaire into the home. Then another quick break.
Who had the cafe latte?
Tune in next week for more tips brought to you by Frigidaire.
Spring is here, and Valley Turf Equipment, your local Honda dealer, has the equipment, parts, and service to keep your lawn and garden in the best shape. Valley Turf offers a great selection of Honda lawn tractors, Honda generators, string trimmers, brush cutters, and Honda walk-behind mowers. Also, the Ransom's Bobcat walk-behind and zero-turn front cut mowers are a must-see for the professional landscaper. And whatever the weather, the BCS two-wheel tractor does it for a lot less. Max says, rest easy. We have everything you need at Valley Turf.
So Mike LaRocco, along with Lusk, Carmichael, and Button, all transferred to the main. Let's go to Marty Reed.
Ezra Lusk in the final practice, Paul, was the 8th quickest. But, boy, in this first heat race, you were like a rocket.
Well, you know, when we go out for practice, all the factories, they have cameras. They watch us every lap, every practice. And, you know, you go out and go as fast as you can. All the guys can see that and learn from it. So why not just wait, you know, and save it for the main event?
Well, you showed us a little more, though, in the heat race. I mean, you were very quick and a very good start. Seems to be the key as always.
Yeah, you know, I made a couple little mistakes that I think I need to work on and worry about and get down every lap, and I think we'll be good. The Honda's working awesome. Dunlop and Fox and Scott.
Remember, guys, there's 25 grand at stake also. I don't think he showed everything just yet.
Now let's go to Davey Coombs.
Mike, it looked like you had a great heat race, but Ezra Lusk just got away from you at the beginning.
Yeah, he got a little bit better start than I did, and I got held up for a couple laps, and he got the lead he needed. Just went out there and checked some lines, and being a heat race, I kind of did the same thing. Just main events where it matters. I just try and check things out, and hopefully I can pick it up for the main event.
Did you pick up anything from Ezra?
It was just good to know what pace he was running, and being out there with him so I could tell what's good, what's bad. So, yeah, maybe a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see.
Watching Jeremy McGrath, 6-time champion. In fact, you could almost rename the series from Pace to McGrath Supercross. In many ways, he owns the Supercross series. In only 7 years, Jeremy McGrath has won 59 Supercross races. The only other rider to even come close to that feat is Rick Johnson with 28. Last week, McGrath clinched his 6th Supercross title in New Orleans. That doubles the amount of titles held by previous champions Bob Hanna and Jeff Stanton. In the process of winning, he has elevated the sport to a new level of acceptance. How has this success changed McGrath?
In '93, I felt really lucky to win the championship. You know, I was riding well. I won 10 races, and it was unbelievable to me. But I would say that you go through stages at times when, you win so much, you're kind of thinking you're a little bit cool, and I'm sure I've done that too. But, like I said, I'm lucky to have a great dad and mom to go, hey, listen, you're not that guy, so just take a seat, So, I think that's held true for me throughout my whole career. And I try and look at myself still as the underdog, and I think that's what helped me win so much. Basically, I'm the same person.
In his spare time, McGrath enjoys quite a few off-track activities, like a little hoops action with his fellow riders and mechanics. He trains intensely. And McGrath finds many other ways to get ready for the weekend, like trying to outrace himself in his own video game. His first motorcycle was at 14, growing up on a BMX bike like this one, a sport he still loves and fears.
It's intimidating. I like to go out there because it scares me. I think I'm fairly well on a BMX bike, and all the pros ride out there where we are. And there's some big jumps. It's not like you can roll in between them. They're big, and if you fall in the middle, you're going to hurt yourself. So I like that feeling of going out there knowing that it scares me, and I have a lot of respect for it. But it's also a lot of fun.
Ready now for heat number 2. Looking at Jeremy McGrath, the newly crowned champion, but the helmet doesn't look all that familiar.
Nope, it is different. The sign is sideways, and they're about to go. Jeremy will wear that in the heat race.
to that first left-hander. Whoa, tough battle coming off of the corner.
That's Mike Jones with the lead.
Boy, there is a surprise as Jones jumps into the lead. You're on board now. Take a look at this. This is Heath Voss's view.
Heath right now running about mid-pack. There's a battle back out front. Jeff Emick, number 11, rejoined Supercross action after an injury. Almost pulled off the hole shot. He and Jeremy both trying to find their way around the freestylist, Mike Jones.
In second place, right behind Mike Jones, number 90. The battle between Jeff Emick, Jeremy McGrath, number 11 and number 1. They're side by side. Boy, I'll tell you what, Jones has got a lot of power breathing down his neck.
Well, he's got a great fight right there, Paul. Emick repassing McGrath. McGrath will have none of it. Look at Emick going in there trying to make it interesting.
Emick comes right back at him. They come across the line. I don't think you have to tell Jeremy where the leader is. He knows at 90. Mike Jones is out in front. Jeremy now works on him. Jeff Emick is right behind him.
Boy, what a thrill for Jones right now to get up there and really force the best rider in the world carrying that number 1 plate to have to get real aggressive and creative to find a way around. And in doing so, he keeps leaving room for Emick.
And from time to time, Larry Ward on 7 and Albertine come into the fight as well. Look at this. Now they make their move.
McGrath gets shuffled all the way back to 6th spot. I don't think he's going to be too happy with the moves by Emick, but Emick's just trying to get in there and race, be aggressive. The same thing Ward's doing to him right here.
Emick takes the lead. Ward now comes around him. Look at Ward. Ward moves to the front. Albertine behind Emick. And he moves past. Well, what a battle this has become.
Well, what set all that up was having Mike Jones, the privateer, out front. He's not quite capable of running the pace of McGrath or Emick, so he held everybody up. Everyone stayed close. And I don't think McGrath's going to be too happy with the moves by Emick, but in Emick's defense, he has been sort of beat up by not being aggressive enough, and here I don't think that's been the problem.
Larry Ward, then Greg Albertine, Jeff Emick. McGrath is 4th. Top 4 will transfer.
Watch McGrath go to work here.
And after his early moves, Mike Jones has begun to fade. Mikhail Pichon moves into 5th place. We'll be back with more from Indianapolis in a moment.
Would you look at this? The Suzuki is off to a great start, and all of Daytona is on their feet as the GSXR screams to the tri-oval. The Suzukis are dicing for the lead on the inside of turn 11. He wants a piece of it. He's got it. Oh, did you see that? Outstanding. The rest of the field might as well head home. The TL1000R slicing for the exit. Oh, my. Suzuki's V-twin is developing incredible horsepower as it thunders up the hill away from the
Remarkable. The GSXR 600 and 750 AMA Super Sport National Champions.
By the year 2000, 10 million kids will end up on the streets and in the back alleys of our nation's cities, wandering from spot to spot, searching for a place to turn a trick. Vans on the streets in '66.
Good job!
There's a man who lives across the alley. I watch him from my window. I fear his knowledge is bigger than mine. I must watch more RPM tonight. I must watch more RPM tonight.
For this week's Honda Flashback, we take a look at the first 250 main from Indianapolis back in 1992. Number 4, Damon Bradshaw, got the hole shot and was out in front until Team Honda's Jeff Stanton, number 2, was able to run him down and make the pass on the second lap. Bradshaw would run in second and stay close with Stanton until lap 11, when he had a huge get-off, landing hard. Avoiding Bradshaw's fight, flying across the track and taking advantage of the opportunity was number 1, Jean-Michel Bale. Team Honda's Stanton and Bale took the 2 top spots in the Indy premiere of Supercross at the RCA Dome back in 1992.
Back in Indianapolis, The battle for the top spot continues. Remember, this is a heat, albeit a qualifier. The top 4 will move to the main right now.
Jeremy backfire.
Jeremy Wright jams it right in there.
It's amazing, too. He does it in a way that no one can actually make the pass. So Jeremy still holds down that final transfer spot. He's on the bubble. Actually pulls away a little bit in the process, but his back tire went in there and slid right over the berm. It's amazing the guy is able to stay up.
Ward, Albertine, Emig in front of McGrath. Here's a look at it again.
Well, Jeremy's just going to come into the corner. Lays it in early. You drag the bottom of your bike, the back wheel gets right out from underneath you. He's able to make the save.
So back at the front, Larry Ward from South Carolina. Albertine and Jeff Emig. That's the fight for second.
This is the corner where Jeremy had his problems a lap before. Now he's closed back up to the rear wheel of Emig.
McGrath tries to move on Emig. He's past Emig into third.
That was a statement, Paul. He made the pass and made sure that Emig could not make that triple. He moved right over and blocked him as if to say, don't do that to me again.
Marty Reed, Emig was looking powerful in the early run.
Well, Paul, his ankle is still bothering him. He says, I'm only about 90%, but what a lot of people don't know is during practice this week, he also took a header over the bars. I'm really quite impressed that he's doing this well. I figured he was just going to use this race as a tune-up, David Bailey.
Well, you know what's happening, Marty, is Emig's having fun right now. There's no pressure. He's not in the points, and when the pressure's off, you can ride more relaxed and have a good time. That's why he's been in there messing with Jeremy and riding aggressive.
Ward, Albertine, McGrath, Emig. Albertine there, McGrath. Of course, riding with plate number 1, once again his.
This will be good. Jeremy he is aware of how important it is to have a first 4 or 5 picks to the starting gate for the main event. If he doesn't make a pass here, his pick may not allow him to get the start he needs in the main event. So this is an important pass.
Working Albertine pretty hard now. Here comes McGrath. McGrath around Albertine. Sometimes he makes it look so easy.
What he did there was not. Trust me, it takes so much experience and talent. He put that bike on the ground sooner. Got the drive, and Jeff Emig has gone down.
Oh, Emig's in trouble. Emig is in trouble.
That was the right-hand turn where Jeremy had made his pass stick on Albertine. Emig got in there, suffered a little problem, so he'll have to go to the semi. Makes another mistake.
Larry Ward still at the front, but McGrath, with a mistake by Emig, comes up to second. Albertine third, fourth place. The final transfer spot is Mikel Pichon. Robbie Reynard now runs in fifth, trying to take some sort of action away from Pichon.
Through all this mess, Jeremy has actually been able to stay pretty close to the leader, Larry Ward. Ward just exiting that corner.
Number 1, that denotes the champion. He had it from last year. He will continue to ride with that plates next year.
McGrath going in for the kill, Paul. There's going to be the white flag when they come around. He's in position to make the pass for the lead, and the crowd can really sense it now.
So will he make one of his spectacular runs to the finish? White flag, 1 to go. Focus on Jeremy McGrath. Can he chase Larry Ward down, battle with him, and get past him in a single lap?
He can do amazing things, and Larry Ward's mechanic is trying to let him know as if he can't already hear the crowd.
Just what Ward needs to know, that McGrath is right there, closed up through those. Now, high into the air, comes up, gets good momentum, comes down on him again. Great jump, comes alongside. Ward's in trouble. McGrath is there and pushing hard. McGrath tries to get down the inside, can't do it. McGrath still works on him. Ward's trying to hold him off. Can he do it to the checkered flag? Just 2 corners to go. No, he can't. McGrath has got him. And to the finish jump. Almost a photo finish, but McGrath had him by a wheel. You think this guy isn't a showman? Oh. So Jeremy McGrath, a come-from-behind victory. That is exactly what makes a champion. So there was the turn that made the difference. Jeremy McGrath gets around Larry Ward, and he takes the win. We'll be back with more.
It's the most powerful custom on the planet. 6 cylinders, 6 carbs, 1,520 cc's. Only one motorcycle in the world can cruise like this. The Valkyrie from Honda. During custom finance days, get 5.9 APR on new Valkyries.
If you added up all the hours you've spent boring out cylinders, building strokers, and setting up suspension, you'd have graduated from MMI by now, and you'd be getting paid for doing what you love. Call 1-800-994-3664 to find out how you can become one of the best technicians in the world. Motorcycle Mechanics Institute.
Rick, this is Peter Gammons calling you about the letter. I did not have the time or the lack of decency to ask Tony Gwynn to send you the kidney stone he passed in '97. But thanks for reading my column.
Now we take a look at the top 4 from Heat 2 who will transfer to the big race, the main, with McGrath with one terrific final lap takes the win. Now let's go to Davey Coombs.
You know, rarely this early in the night do we feel energy like this down in the infield. I got to tell you, Jeremy, that was an incredible show. We usually see that at the end of the night.
Well, I was hanging it out. You know, the track's kind of tight tonight. It's a little hard to pass. My Mazda Chaparral Yamaha is working great out there, and Amick was kind of putting his wheel in on me a few spots out there, and I kind of had to do what I had to do to get around.
But you didn't have to win that race, but no matter what, you went after the Suzuki of Larry Ward. Tell us about that last lap.
Well, you know, once I got mad out there, I was on a mission. You know, I was on a mission to win the dang heat race. And I was coming up, I had some fast lines. I'm kind of glad I got pissed out there because now I got a little better race line for the main event. Larry was out in front, but it's okay. I knew I could come around him.
You got what it takes to beat Ezra Lusk in that main?
I need to get a little better start. You know, Jones was out in front, and it's kind of hard to get around, like I said. And that gave Amick the opportunity to throw his wheels all over me, and I got what it takes.
So on heat number 2, I think a serious mistake by Amick. I don't think you want to make Jeremy McGrath mad ever.
Well, obviously not. McGrath may have come in here going, I've got the title. I don't have to do anything really that special. But he got motivated when Amick stuck the wheel in there in some places where you just don't really do that. It's just not good etiquette. And McGrath got motivated and started picking off riders one by one.
All right, let's take a look at some of these other events that set up the action and the lineup for the main event itself. In heat number 1, it was Lusk that took the whole shot, and then he began to disappear.
Well, Lusk was fast all afternoon in the warm-ups, and it's very difficult to say if he's on the same pace of McGrath. It looks like to me that Lusk is the only guy that could challenge McGrath.
Now back in the pits is our Marty Reed. Marty?
Team Honda's Ezra Lusk has not had trouble finding the podium in 1999. He's been there a total of 7 times, 4 of them on the very top rung. But 3 of those victories came in the first 5 races of the year. The last one, just the last time out in New Orleans. And he has to carry the workload for Team Honda after Kevin Windham went down with an injury just 5 races ago. There's also one other incentive for Ezra Lusk. He's got a chance at $25,000 in the Vans Triple Crown.
When the 1999 U.S. Supercross Series began, Team Kawasaki had some high title hopes. With 250 class veterans Jeff Emig and Damon Huffman being joined by 125 class phenom Ricky Carmichael, the team was hoping for some wins. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out according to plan. Jeff Emig has been injured for almost half the series. Damon Huffman has been having a hard time getting up to pace. And as for Ricky Carmichael, well, he's found the going a little bit tougher in this class. It's probably safe to say that he's crashed more times in 1999 than Evel Knievel did in all the 1970s. As a result, Team Kawasaki has yet to reach the podium in this series.
We'll be right back with the semis right after this.
Suzuki has completely restyled the Katana 600 and 750, from their dual halogen headlights to their 4-into-1 stainless steel exhausts.
Same time tomorrow? Yeah.
So now they're just as impressive on the outside because they've always been on the inside.
Catch me. Catch me. Catch me. Catch me.
Catch me, only at DunlopTire.com.
What sets some people apart? Gives them the confidence to succeed on their own terms. It's no secret, it's the Wall Street Journal. Now you can have that confidence delivered for 13 weeks at just $36.75, just 57 cents a day. That's a 25% savings off our regular rate, which makes now a great time to try this limited time offer. Call now, 800-248-1300. That's 800-248-1300 for the Wall Street Journal.
Hey.
I never want to see you again.
Wait, where are you going?
Aren't you bummed? She took my favorite jersey.
The 1997 main event from the RCA Dome in Indianapolis saw number 3 Jeff Emig get the whole shot in the early lead. Jeff would run into some bad luck with a banner caught up in his back wheel on lap 2. The question, would it affect his rear brakes? Number 20 Doug Henry and number 6 Larry Ward battled for second, with Henry winning that spot by the halfway mark. This was not a good night for number 1 Jeremy McGrath, who had won the last 3 Indy events. He blew a clutch, falling back to a 9th place finish. The charging native son of Indiana, Mike LaRocco, then grabbed the runner-up spot away from Doug Henry. Even with the banner in his rear wheel, Jeff Emig scored his second win in 1997 on way to the Supercross Championship.
The first semi for the 250s. 6 laps, 16 riders, first 5 will transfer to the main. Where's Tim Perry on 20? Top privateer.
Tim Ferry had an excellent run last weekend in New Orleans. He told us before the show he wanted to finish in the top 5. He went out and got a 5th place, and he's got a little momentum. I'm surprised to see him in the semi, really, but I think it was as a result of a bad start here. I'm sure he'll improve.
30 board is up, 24. Steve Lamson, McGrath's teammate. There's Damon Huffman, hoping that he will find his very first podium. All eyes now on the board. The countdown continues. Everyone tends to favor the left side of the gate.
Tim Ferry and both Nathan Ramsey getting held up right out of the gate.
Oh, Ferry got pinched off badly coming into the gate, as a matter of fact.
So now it's Huffman.
Damon Huffman. Huffman gets a hole shot on the Kawasaki, leads now.
That's 24. McGrath's teammate, Steve Lamson. Sebastian Waugh of Canada on the red. Nathan Ramsey, who wrapped up the 125 West Coast Supercross title back in Minneapolis, joining the 250 ranks.
Huffman, then Lamson. Lamson begins to close up now.
Ferry trying to work his way around the outside. Makes that pass on Ramsey. Both those guys held up miserably out of the gate, but because they were on the inside, they came out pretty close to the front. One of the faster straightaways of Supercross this season. They blast across that sweeper in front of the mechanics area. They don't have much of a chance to look up and get the signal there.
21 is Waugh, chasing Lamson now. Again, we're talking in the semis, a mere 6 laps, a chance to make it to the main. There's the top 5.
All these guys will go to the main event if they stay in these positions. But again, I want to stress that the pick to the starting gate tonight is crucial. You saw both Ferry and Ramsey get terrible jumps out of the gate, but because they were on that left side that you mentioned, Paul, they came out of this first corner right here in real good shape. Ferry makes another pass.
On Ferry battle.
Ferry apparently is riding that confidence high after a top 5 last week. He works his way from a horrible start in the tail into this entire battle all the way up into second. He's got his sights set on the leader now.
Huffman, Ferry on 20, and then Lamson. Waugh sits in fourth.
I think what we're going to see here, Paul, is the difference between first and second right now. Huffman and Ferry is... Huffman's not quite as aggressive as Ferry. Does things a little bit more careful out there, and he's just been on the prowl, aggressive, attacking the track, attacking his top riders. He's not intimidated anymore because he's been able to run around up front. He's comfortable with it.
Keeping an eye on the leader, Marty Reed.
David, it's interesting what you said. Attack the track. That's exactly what Anthony Paggio, Damon Huffman's mechanic, was telling him just the last lap. He ran a 56.13. He's seeing the same thing you are. He's not aggressive enough.
Yeah, I think they're tapping into my headset, Marty. That's what they got to be doing, something, because I know the entire Kawasaki team, they have so much confidence in the riding skill of Huffman and his accomplishments in the 125 Supercross, picking up titles there, but really taken a long time for him to find his speed.
You saw him giving Tim Ferry the let's go board, trying to hustle him up to catch 31. Damon Huffman, the leader. We'll be back in just a moment.
Healthy by Nature is more than just a health food store. We go the extra mile for our customers. Today, more and more people are focusing on health and wellness. Healthy by Nature offers a complete line of Solar Ray products to meet your health and wellness needs. Whether you need vitamins, minerals, or herbs, Solar Ray products provide you with nutritional support for a healthy lifestyle. Solar Ray products, for all your nutritional needs. So stop by Healthy by Nature, where customer service is our #1 priority.
Come see what Roy Rogers has done now. We've topped the chicken sandwich. The friendly folks at Roy's are proud to introduce the chicken cordon bleu sandwich. We topped our golden fried chicken breast with Hormel Cure 81 ham, Monterey Jack cheese, and our new Riviera sauce. Just wait till you taste Roy Rogers' chicken cordon bleu sandwich. But don't wait long. It's here for a limited time only. Good food, great people. Get it right at Roy's.
The X Games. The only extreme event that matters. The X Games, June 27th to July 5th, only on ESPN and ESPN2.
We're back at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, the first semi for the 250s. Out in front, Damon Huffman from California. Tim Ferry is trying to chase him down. A few moments ago, they kept urging Ferry on. Lamson sits in third, and Waugh sits in fourth place.
This is probably good for Huffman. Well, in fact, I know it's good for him to have this kind of pressure in the semi. He wants to win a semi. Typically, because the favorites have qualified out of the heat, it's a little bit easier to pick up a win in the semi. You don't want to let it slip away when you've had a lead for this long. So if he responds to this challenge, that could pick his pace up a little bit, do him some good in the main event later.
Huffman with Florida's Tim Ferry working on him, followed by Lamson, Waugh, and Ramsey.
I'll tell you what, though, Huffman can't go wide like that later on. Somebody will ride right in there and shut the door on him.
Damon Huffman with one more lap to go now, but Tim Ferry is right there. Whoa, Ferry kicks the back out, regains it.
This is where I really would rather be Ferry. It's nice to lead a race, but in terms of who's more nervous, Huffman's got all the pressure right here. It's his to lose, and Ferry has everything to gain. And at this point, if he just finishes second, he's ridden a fine race.
Last lap at 55.4. Watching 31, Damon Huffman. Picked up the lead early on. The battle is back at fourth place now. Lamson and Waugh.
It's Ramsey now trying to get one more spot. They both chase Lamson.
25 is Ramsey, of course, closing on Waugh. And with a checkered flag coming out, Damon Huffman takes the win. Tim Ferry was right there, but didn't have enough to get it done at the finish. So, top 5 out of semi number 1 will transfer to the main, led, of course, by number 31, Huffman. We'll be back right after this.
I've been racing since I was 3. I'm a pilot. I like to fly a little bit. Those guys are tough to beat. No matter what, we want a Honda up front. I guess you could say I was just a little bit hairier than the other kids. They said I was hairy like a bear, and then I was Yogi Bear, and now it's just Yogi. Je m'appelle Mickaël Pichon, j'ai 23 ans, j'habite en France.
I just feel like I'm on the right team and on the right place.
Try not to think about who's behind you. You know, you try to always race in front of you.
You feel like you can be free.
Sometimes, after NHL tonight, I take my knowledge to a sports bar. There's always someone there who thinks his knowledge is the biggest. Then, I show them mine.
Back with Pace Supercross at Indianapolis. The first semi for the 250s is complete. Huffman took the win, followed by Ferry, Lamson, Waugh, and Ramsey. They will all transfer. Let's go to Marty Reed.
Paul, before the evening started, talking to Damon Huffman, I said, this might be a breakthrough night for you. Good performance here in the semi.
Yeah, it really was. I had some fast guys in there, and I nailed the start, went a little wide, but I came out in the lead, and, you know, I had to ride really hard that time, and we had to do the same in the main event.
David Bailey made the observation that this may be what you needed, some pressure from somebody like Ferry to make you focus for that period of time.
Yeah, Ferry's riding really good. He ran into me in that first race, but that's the way it goes. I got him that time, and hopefully I'll get those guys in that main event.
1-1 between Ferry and Huffman. I guess, guys, it'll be the rubber match in the main event.
No, I'll be ahead.
Ready for the second semi, the number 17 Suzuki. That's Robbie Rayner. And again, he moves over to the edge. Jeff Emig also riding in this second semi on 11, the Kawasaki.
Jeff was perhaps instrumental in motivating McGrath in the heat race earlier on, where he was trying to get creative and sneak his front wheel into the inside. And Jeff has been ridiculed this year for not going out and attacking and being aggressive enough, and that certainly wasn't the case in the heat race. Here he's going to have to probably settle back down and make sure those moves are all smart and don't slow his pace.
Yeah, it was a piece of aggression that he paid for, because all he managed to really do was make Jeremy McGrath mad, and that lost him the race.
Also, now he's here in the semi with more wear and tear, and he's not 100% right now. To put weight on his feet, start the bike even, is painful for him. So another 6 laps for Jeff Emig.
Ford is up and sideways. On board with Heath Voss as he gets chopped coming into the corner. They make that first turn.
He's in good shape. You see number 54 right there. That's the Arena Cross now, Supercross champion. Buddy Antonez. He's got Phil Lawrence just to his right. See how close these guys get. It's amazing they do all these jumps just about rubbing elbows out there.
Antonez in front. Voss right behind him. He rides with our camera. Whoa! Try that out.
Yeah, we got good seats right here. You can see it all. This is for the lead. Sticks a wheel in, not enough though.
Antonez and Voss, they are the battle for the front. They pulled away from third place Mike Jones, who's having a great evening.
From Voss's point of view, you can also see all those little rocks that start to come up as the evening goes on, and Imagine riding around and having all these little pebbles sprinkled around on the surface. It makes it very slippery.
Oh, that's what it's like for Voss. He can do it. I don't have a chance.
You can also see that as close as he's following the leader, Antonez. If Antonez makes a mistake, when you're that close, you're involved in it as well. The reflexes of these guys to react to different things that are going on out there, not get collected in problems, have to be razor sharp.
The Arena Cross champion, Buddy Antonez, is the leader on 54. Second is Heath Voss. Marty Reed, you've been watching him.
Well, Heath Voss, we got to remember that he's coming off an injury where he has a swollen hip, a 3-story dive bomb courtesy of Steve Lance, and he said, well, I don't go to the doctor, guys. Doctors don't understand Supercross. They play on swing sets. Well, he's not playing out there right now, that's for sure.
That was one of the great quotes of the evening.
Yeah, that was good. Right here, he's getting creative, trying to cut to the outside, cut to the inside. That's the trick. You don't want to follow.
And where is Jeff Emig? Well, 11 is sitting back in 6th place right now. There he goes into the corner while we watch the battle for the lead.
The Japanese rider right in front of him, number 30, Koikita, is on the bubble. That's the transfer spot that both Emig and Raynard behind him. They need that desperately. Otherwise, it's the last chance qualifier.
Emig working on number 30, Koikita. One set transfer spot. Still Antonez and Voss at the front, followed by Jones and Phil Lawrence of California on 37.
Now Emig has moved into that 5th spot. They went around Mike Jones, so that bumps him up one. The last chance qualifier for Emig tonight would just be a disaster. He's more talented than that. He doesn't need that much wear and tear. And I get the feeling over the Kawasaki camp that for Jeff, the point of him being here is really just to try to get a top 10 finish, ride 20 good smooth laps in the main event, build a little bit of confidence, get back into the groove before the outdoor races start.
Jeff Emig fighting hard. Antonez, Voss, Phil Lawrence, 1, 2, 3. We'll be back with more right after this.
At work, they call me Pete. On my Suzuki Intruder 1400, they call me Lone Wolf.
Lone Wolf on the Savage 650. Lone Wolf. Lone Wolf.
It's Ms. Lone Wolf to you, mister. And quit staring at my Marauder 800.
There are so many Suzuki Cruisers to choose from. Everybody can be Lone Wolf.
Call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB right now for a free brochure. Your free hair, all you have to do is prepay for a basic club plan. That's it.
Can't believe you can slick it straight back and it still looks natural. I love it. I've never felt this good after a haircut.
You don't feel any difference in this hair, you know, any hair. And it still stays, see?
So call 1-800-HAIR-CLUB right now for a free brochure.
A great tradition reborn on ESPN2 Friday Night Fights. This week, the main event, Antonio Diaz takes on Marlon Thomas. Plus, a look back at the history of the junior welterweight. Friday Night Fights, Friday at 10:30 on ESPN2.
Pace Supercross is brought to you by Dunlop Tires. In motorcycle tires, Dunlop is superiority.
Back at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis, the second semi for the 250s. The Arena Cross champion, Buddy Antonez from California leading. Voss trying to challenge, but it's fallen back about 30 feet. Really unable to close that gap right now. Third place, Phil Lawrence out of California.
This is the real battle, number 11 and 17, Emig and Raynard. Raynard has shown so much speed this year. He's had a couple of podiums, and he is in 6th place. He has got to move up to make the main event. Emig, one of the toughest riders to pass in perhaps the world, has that spot. This ought to be good.
Marty Reed, Emig, and Raynard. You've been watching Raynard.
Yeah, Robbie's coming off his 2 best finishes of the year, the 3rd place back-to-back, but it's always a mental thing with him. It seems like if he gets a good start, he's fine, but if he doesn't, the team has a hard time keeping him focused and pushing forward to the front. And that's the problem he's having right now.
Oh! Emig drops it. Koikita gets around safely.
Well, Emig Emig went in there with a great idea, and see all those little rocks around it. That's what I wanted to talk about, how slick it gets. And as Emig went in there and make the pass on Koikita, his front end washed out, and now he's definitely in the last chance qualifier.
Antonez and Voss see the white flag. One more to go. For Emig, a serious problem now. Going to be off to the LCQ.
He will ride the maximum requirement of laps here tonight. I don't think he was really intending on doing that.
Lawrence remains in third, Koikita fourth. Reynard is fifth, back to the front. Well, Voss is going to make a valiant try on this last lap. Remember the great run by McGrath in the heats? Can Voss copy that?
Not if he's following. He's right in the line of Antonez. Antonez did a great job here to get this win.
2 corners to go. Antonez goes for the jump, goes for the win. And Heath Voss comes across in second place. So Antonez followed by Voss, Lawrence, Koikita. That's the top 4 in semi number 2. We'll be back.
But we're in a good spot, okay?
We've discovered an exciting innovation from Kmart that solved all our seating and entertainment needs.
It's the amazing new Convert-A-Bench. It's a bench, it's a shelf, it's a table, it's revolutionary.
Here it's a beautiful, sturdy bench that will complement any patio, balcony, or garden.
Then just flip the top over and it becomes a convenient bench and table. Perfect for all kinds of outdoor activities like gardening, drawing, eating, and working.
Better yet, the Convert-A-Bench is only $99.99 from Kmart.
And with 2 Convert-A-Benches, you can instantly create a full-size picnic table, sturdy enough to seat your family and friends.
The Convert-A-Bench is constructed to resist weather and sun.
When it comes to cleanup, it's a breeze. Use it inside your home as a comfortable bench.
Or as extra counter space for parties and celebrations. It's the bench that's a shelf, that's a table. It does it all.
The Convert-A-Bench will solve all your indoor and outdoor seating and entertaining needs. It's another exciting innovation from Kmart.
Creative design excellence, technological advancement, space-age innovations, 21st century quality. It's the best in fitness, health, conditioning, toning, and muscle development. The Soloflex Muscle Machine. We've designed one for your body. Call now for a free brochure.
Pace Supercross from Indianapolis, the second of the 2 semis for the 250s now complete. There are the top 5. Let's go to Davey Combs.
Well, we're used to seeing Buddy Antonez. It's in a much smaller arena, the National Arena Cross champion 3 times, but tonight you just showed these guys you can do it in the big stadiums too.
Yeah, thanks a lot. You know, my Suzuki was working great out there. Ed Longhair did a great job tuning on it, and I got a whole shot. And, you know, I felt like once I was out front, just like racing arena cross when I'm out front, that's all I focused on is just, you know, I'm used to being out front and just putting in good laps and being consistent. It seemed to work out for me.
What about Heath Voss in second behind you? He is a very aggressive young rider. Thought he might move up on you and try and take a couple shots at you, but you rode very smart.
Yeah, thank you. My RG3 suspension was working great out there, and the Suzuki was hooking up, Dunlop tires. And, you know, I put in some smooth laps. Heath pushed up to me, and I just kept being smooth and pulled back away from him. Made a little mistake at the end. He got close, but I held on. I won a semi. I'm happy.
Can you run 20 laps on a track this big at that pace?
Well, I'd like to say I can. I'm going to go out there and give it 110%, and we'll see what happens.
So Jeff Emig crashed in the second semi, and his luck got no better in the last chance qualifier. Big crash there going into the first turn. Emig and Val did not make it to the main. Kevin Klein, Grayson Goodman, they were the 2 transfer spots. We'll be back with more Supercross in a moment.
Tired of that long commute to work? Why not stay right here in Loudon? Cablevision of Loudon, a leading-edge full-service communications company, is currently looking to fill several full and part-time positions. Proudly serving Loudon for over a decade, Cablevision is a growing company always adding new services to complement our expanding county. Cablevision brings hometown service to the global communications industry. If you're interested in a high-tech career with a growing company, call Cablevision of Loudon today.
Hi, I'm here today to talk to you about the Auto Spot, the dealer in Leesburg that guarantees your credit approval if you have a pay stub showing you make $150 a week after taxes and a utility bill that shows your name and address. At the Auto Spot, we only sell quality used cars, 91 and newer, and everything we sell comes with a warranty. We're located in Leesburg, directly behind Jerry's Ford off of Route 7. So if you need a quality used car, you need to find the spot, the Auto Spot.
Considering the popularity of the swimsuit issues, the Sports Center swimsuit calendar seemed like an idea whose time had come. Sex sells.
Show me the sex. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
I don't want lotion. Get away.
Very sexy. Oh, yeah. Megan, give me the snakes, would you?
Snakes?
No, you're going to look sexy. It's going to look great.
You've got to be kidding me. We know what people like.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
Pace Supercross, brought to you by Suzuki. During Suzuki Fest 99, get $400 worth of free accessories and great financing on selected models.
Ready now for the final. 125cc, 15 laps, 22 riders. There's Fonseca. Boy, I'll tell you what, he has been extremely powerful.
The guy doesn't lose very often, and the only rider that's been able to beat him is Brock Sellers, and he still made a race out of that.
Brock Sellers, there he is on 27. So those are the two guys to keep a positive eye on in the 125cc final.
Sellers knows he can beat Fonseca. There you see Fonseca, number 100, taking a long look at this whoop section. This is at the approach to the finish line. He may be able to use that later on. There's Nick Way, number 23, who's been up and down.
Let's go down to Davey Combs.
We're talking about Nick Way, you guys. Nick had a 1-point lead for second place coming in this final round of the 125 East Series over Robbie Horton, a privateer out of Georgia. Well, it looks like Nick Way's going to get it because Robbie Horton had the same fate Jeff Emig had. He did not qualify. He got knocked down the first turn twice.
Fonseca practicing one more start. They do a warm-up lap. This started in the mid-80s. The track changes so much from the heat race to the main. They give you one more chance to look at it. Let the crowd see you as you come around before they get up to speed.
We'll take a look at the starting grid now. Fonseca, of course, from Costa Rica, adding to that ongoing international element of the sport of Supercross. Again, in Indianapolis, the capital of racing, and Supercross joins that prestigious lineup that is the Indy 500, the Brickyard 400, soon to be Formula One in this city. We're at the RCA Dome for Pace Supercross. 125 riders moving to the gate now.
Nick Way lined up pretty far to the left. Fonseca to his right. Nick Way actually was the one that kind of helped Sellers get the win in Pontiac. He went out and bumped Fonseca, who was the early leader. Fonseca went down. Appears that's the only way you can beat this guy is if he crashes. But I think Way and Sellers and a few others out here feel like they have an opportunity to beat him fair and square.
For Fonseca in his first heat, he took the whole shot, and then it was goodbye everybody. He was gone.
If he gets out front and he gets Sellers and some of the favorites, his challengers kind of buried in the pack, he is gone. But if they all get out together, I think it could be a good race. Plus these guys, the frustration builds. There's only a couple of rounds left. They want to go out there and prove they can beat them.
Of course, what you do, even if you're running in the back at this time of the year, can make a world of difference to how you're going to cut the deal for next year. Marty Reed?
Guys, you want to talk about the popularity of Supercross? We have 46,831 fans here tonight. just a half a mile away at Market Square Arena, the Indiana Pacers have 16,000. Across the street at Victory Field, the AAA baseball franchise in Indianapolis has another 8,000 fans. And an hour south of here, John Mellencamp, an Indiana native, has a rock concert going on. And 46,000 are here with us.
And you know, we still got 11 parking spaces left over in the center of the downtown of Indianapolis. Is that great planning or what?
Well, I'll tell you what, these people are avid fans, and they have seen some great action tonight, especially McGrath's heat race between Larry Warder. We made that last-ditch effort. You could see some action like that here in the 125. These main events are much different because it really matters now.
Last-minute problem just cleared. 30 board is up. This is my hometown, as you know, and I'll tell you what, it is a town that loves to support any form of entertainment, but especially sporting events and certainly motorsports.
This is the time these guys get nervous. They reach down, make sure the gas is turned on, check their goggles, fidget quite a bit. You never get tired of this. You just can't shake the nerves. Paul, in all the years I raced, these moments, these last seconds before the gate dropped, they always got nervous.
Board is sideways. Focus on the gate.
Fonseca.
Oh, but Fonseca has an early challenge. Fonseca, blue bike back into second place.
As Jerry Dostal jumps in there and takes advantage.
Michigan's Dostal now with Fonseca charging him. Wonder if that isn't kind of like the McGrath scenario. You don't want to really hack Fonseca off. Fonseca now moves for the lead. Still, Dostal stays there. The man from Michigan gives the challenge.
Fonseca just makes this look so easy. Just rides right around the outside, makes the pass stick. No one really goes in there and challenges him. It just surprises me. If I had Dostal's opportunity, well, I would have got in there and probably been a little bit more aggressive, ride a wider bike, as they say, or cut out there and take the line away.
Dostal and Harrington now. Harrington on 188.
Watch Harrington. He's one of the more aggressive young riders coming up. He is not afraid to go fast.
Harrington, that blue bike. Kelly Smith on 64. Another Michigan rider comes up, begins the battle.
Harrington getting over that double jump. A little bit different timing between he and Kelly Smith. About the same speed. Whoa!
Whoa! Tyler Evans, California, gets it down, but gets right back on it. But still, he was up there where he could begin a challenge on Kelly Smith. That cost him.
You don't move Kelly Smith around too easily. He's built like a linebacker. He's tough. The only guy that's put him down is Fonseca. Oh, Dostal gets a little out of shape. Here's Harrington clearing the triple as he approaches the left-hander. Kelly Smith right behind him. Watch as he gets up into the corner. Evans tries to go for the block pass, but he wasn't in there tight enough.
Kelly Smith able to move around on the outside. Fonseca still the leader. Dostal, Harrington, Smith. See him in the upper left-hand corner with the two Smiths, Kelly and Danny. Danny Smith racing out of Idaho.
Andy Harrington doesn't get to ride all these races. He's had a lot of friends. He's a true privateer. This kid's working on his own bike, having friends hauling around the country for him. He lives in El Cajon. He is aggressive, putting the pressure on right now, trying to steal second.
Harrington working hard on Dostal. Dostal trails Fonseca by 1.1 second last time around. Also right there is 64, Kelly Smith.
And the FMF riders behind him. Both Danny Smith and then Sellers. Sellers really has an opportunity to, and I think the speed to go out and challenge Fonseca, but there's no way now unless Fonseca goes down. Fonseca's not even in the same county. He's gone.
Smith gets around Harrington. Nice challenge, nice pass. Marty Reed?
Well, Danny Smith has a lot to be riding for, Paul, because he's tied for 5th with Jimmy Neese. So if he finishes ahead of Neese where he is right now, 5th place in the points is him, and it's all money at the end of the year.
Harrington fades. Kelly Smith, then Danny Smith. Then the number 27, Brock Sellers. Fonseca, forget it. He's gone. He's way out there.
Sellers really needs to get past these guys if he wants to have a chance.
Fights back there with Danny Smith, Kelly Smith. 12 to go now. 57 is Dostal. Smith closes on him. Fight for second.
This is a great fight. While these guys battle, Fonseca just keeps putting time on him. He's opened his lead even more now. And Nick Way is way back in the pack. 10th spot, I believe.
Dostal, Danny, then Kelly Smith. Sellers on 27 is up into this fight. Four-way battle for second.
A lot of pressure on Dostal right here. If he makes one mistake, he couldn't just lose a position. He'd lose 4 or 5. He's got to ride a perfect race from here on out. These guys will not leave him alone, especially Danny Smith. This young kid doesn't look like he's old enough to ride, but he is talented. He has the skills. He has the training. He's gaining experience race after race.
Look side by side, 3 of them battle there. As you look at the 125s, David Bailey, certainly Fonseca, a 250 rider of the future. Who else are we watching?
Well, potentially all these guys, but I like the fact that Danny Smith is such a charger. He has a great work ethic. He caught Bob Hanna's eye up in Idaho. Also, Brock Sellers, number 27, at the tail end of this battle. I really like his attitude. He's been out riding at the Honda track, watching the factory Honda guys and what they do. He's a good kid, and I think he has the skills, and he's already proven he can win. He beat Fonseca. Nobody else will be able to figure out how to do that.
Dostal still riding in second. Fonseca, I'll tell you what, he is having a tremendous day. Almost now a full straightaway on everything else. 64. Gets in big trouble. That, of course, is Kelly Smith from Michigan.
That drops him almost all the way to the rear of the field, so disappointment for Kelly.
There's that powerful Costa Rican. Way, way out in front. So Ernesto Fonseca, Costa Rica, still the leader. You're watching Danny Smith. Brock Sellers now closed in to third place as Dostal drops back into third, followed by Tyler Evans.
Well, both Danny and Brock right there, the FMF riders, have worked their way around this battle, which is now the battle for fourth. They have separated themselves by about 3 seconds now, so they were the faster in that pack. I don't think they have a prayer catching Ernesto, though, unless Ernesto out front has some major problems.
Dostal, Evans fight for fourth.
Evans has recovered nicely. Remember, he went into this corner right here, kind of made a move on Kelly Smith, went down. Kelly Smith went down later on, but Evans has recovered. He's back up here challenging Dostal, who was the early leader.
Yeah, he's been nice and smooth since he got in trouble. Now he comes up right alongside Dostal, then drops back, cuts to the inside. Can he hold it off of here? He does.
A little bit better timing. Got to the corner, hooked up. There's a little gap. There's about 4 whoop-de-doos, a gap, and then the rest. He jumped that gap, got the power back to the ground, and was able to make the move.
At the halfway point, Fonseca 8.5 seconds ahead of second place Danny Smith.
Yeah, Paul, I think that if he wanted that to be 12 seconds, he could do it. Right now, all he's doing is putting in smooth laps, not doing anything more than necessary.
Well, 8.5 in 8 laps. Where is he going to be when it's over? When we come back, we'll find out.
The swamps of Louisiana. There's only one reason why we would bring Honda ATVs to a place like this. To see if they could get out. Because if Honda ATVs can handle this kind of mud, this kind of terrain, this kind of non-stop torture, they can handle almost anything you'll throw at them. They're America's most popular ATVs for America's least popular places. Honda ATVs. Best on earth.
Tonight on ESPN, the Stanley Cup playoffs continue with San Jose at Colorado, followed by baseball tonight. On ESPN2, RPM tonight, IROC 23, Auto Club 300, and the NASCAR Winston Cup Happy Hour. And on ESPN Classic, Behind the Fights with Pete Hamill, followed by a college basketball classic. Do you have all the ESPN networks?
Back in Indianapolis, 100. Ernesto Fonseca from Costa Rica, a full 8.5 seconds ahead of second place, Danny Smith. Followed by Brock Sellers, then Tyler Evans and Gary Dostal. Now, Dostal and Evans have been going back and forth for several laps now.
Well, Evans has moved clear. Now Dostal finds more pressure from Demon, number 32 right there. So Dostal has had riders bothering him this entire race. That's what happens when you get the hole shot. Unless you're Fonseca and you can get the hole shot and get clear, you're going to have a lot of company.
Little bit of closure here now.
This is where you always hear the riders talking about riding their own race. It's been difficult for Dostal because he's had somebody back there this entire time, and he really hasn't been able to take the line he wants. You've got to always protect it.
Trying to stay conscious of everyone around you.
Right there, he just kept the inside line. He doesn't have that fast of a pace, but he's forcing Demuth to go out there and make it happen somewhere else.
Now Demuth makes the move, comes high. Yep, still can't do it. And Dostal gains an advantage there, is able to accelerate a little faster.
Probably put a little bit of fire. Well, they don't go for the finish line jump right there because the flag is waving. A rider went down. Rider who had been lapped went down at the finish. And they wave the flag like that. They ask the riders not to double over it or triple, rather. They got to take each jump single.
Demuth still working on Dostal. This is the fight for fifth. Fonseca still well out in front, unchallenged. Demuth comes off of that, gets good acceleration, puts him almost alongside again. Look at him cut underneath. Whoa, very pretty move.
Well, I think that was the anger right there. He's going, listen, pal, I'm going to get you one way or another. Once Dostal had cut him off, he's motivated to go back in there and shut the door. He did just that, made it stick.
So that puts Demuth up into fifth, and Dostal now has big trouble.
Fonseca, again, is just on cruise control right now. Watch the difference in pace. He just stands there so nonchalant, but he jumps all the major obstacles. He keeps the bike low to the ground. Does everything right, Paul.
Okay, we're ready with a Honda stopwatch now as we keep track of Ernesto Fonseca and the interval back to second place. Idaho's Danny Smith.
About 6 seconds. Here comes Sellers, 9 seconds. They've been able to stay reasonably close. There goes Evans. Not close enough.
A wide graph as we take a look back to the leader. Interesting to see his lead go away a little bit from the 8.5 of earlier. But I suspect that that's more him. Now just he knows how far out he is. Let's take it easy. Don't want to make any dumb mistakes here. I'll find a pace that works well for me.
6 seconds is plenty of room for him to take his time and not be threatened. He can make good decisions getting around through the lapped riders. As long as he doesn't make a major mistake, come up short on one of these triples, he can keep that gap at 6 seconds for a long time. He's not riding with that motivation right now. He's just trying to ride smooth, and back behind him, Danny Smith going all out.
And as we watch Fonseca on the course, Marty Reed, you and his mechanic are watching from the sideline.
Now we're down here with Kenny Germain, and that's the mechanic for Ernesto Fonseca. It looks like he's settled into just a steady rhythm, holding the lead at about 6 seconds.
Yeah, he's riding good. Just trying to stay.
Now with just 2 to go, looking for the white flag next time around. Probably the only problem that Fonseca faces, there's a sign for 2. The only problem that he faces is traffic that lies ahead, people that he may not know.
Right, and he's been pretty good at getting through these guys, and with the lead he has, he can afford to be patient. That's what I was talking about, making a good decision. Every once in a while, he can get a little too antsy and get collected in a problem, because the pace is so much different between Ernesto and the riders that he's beginning to lap. And his mechanic had on the pit board 57, I think it was 57.8. So it's pretty fast lap times. They've been running, the 250s have been running about 56, so I'm sure he can dip that down if he wants to.
Danny Smith. The orange number 58, he rides in second place. Nobody working on him right now. Brock Sellards sits back in third. White flag is out, 1 lap to go for Ernesto Fonseca.
He's got 2 lapped riders ahead of him, and it's pretty clean sailing. You'll see him take his time.
Careful through here. Wants to make sure everybody knows he's alongside.
You see now that it's the white flag. Nearing the end of the race, he let that lap time dive all the way to almost 59 seconds. So he's not that worried about this rider right here, Danny Smith, who just saluted the crowd. He's going to be happy with his second place finish. And that's obviously no threat to number 100.
Looks like he's going to be more than happy. Fonseca certainly can recognize that he is on his way to victory. At this point, probably figuring out what kind of show I'm going to give the crowd when I cross the finish line jump.
That's exactly what I was just thinking. That last lap, if you guys have a big enough lead, I love the way he does that corner, too. Jumps right in there. Great timing. All he's thinking about is what maneuver to pull on the finish line jump.
And saying, don't mess it up. Very nice. Ernesto Fonseca from Costa Rica, number 100. He takes the victory. Going away. There comes second place, Idaho's Danny Smith. He finishes in second. So Fonseca has won the 125 cc's here at Indianapolis. And now he begins to show off. We'll be back.
At a standstill, it might be compared to other sport bikes. At top end, it might be compared to other sport bikes. But at each and every mile per hour in between, comparisons become insignificant specks in the mirrors. The TL1000R, the only one of its kind on the track, from Suzuki.
She's managing her time, right down to the dime, with Sprint. Because now it's just a dime a minute on calling card calls, on calls to your Sprint 800 number, and all calls from home. Call 1-877-5-CONTACT and switch to Sprint. You can't control everything, but you can make the most of your time. Isn't that the point of contact? Switch now for a dime every time. Call toll-free 1-877-5-CONTACT.
That was so close. No.
There's your top 10 as the finish of the 125cc main now completed. Let's go down to Davey Coombs.
Guys, this might be the fastest rookie ever in Supercross. 7 starts in your career, 6 wins. You just keep on going, Ernesto. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks a lot. My Yamaha Troy bike is working really good, and happy that I won 6 races out of 7. I think it's been a great season for me, and I'm happy for Yamaha Troy team. Phil is his first ever championship, and it's just been great. Hopefully I can get a good start next weekend and try to win another race.
Hey, is anyone starting to sniff around about you whenever your Yamaha Troy contract is up, or is it still too early to let the cat out of the bag?
Well, I think it's a little early. We're just been racing Supercross. I need to get ready for the outdoors and put up a good year. But my bike seems to be working really, really good, and I'm sure I can do pretty good.
Good job, Ernesto.
Yeah, congratulations. Very nice job. There are the point standings now in the 125cc. We send you back down trackside, Marty Reed.
Yes, and Danny Smith started the night tied for 5th in the championship chase with Jimmy Neese, but a second-place finish. Boy, you sealed any doubt of that.
Yeah, I just wanted to come into tonight's race and finish the season strong and try and move it into the outdoor series on a positive note.
And you did it. I mean, what was the difference for you?
Well, basically, I've been keeping my head up. I've been having some good rides, and I'd like to thank my mechanic. We've been trying hard. I've just been having some inconsistent rides, but put it together for tonight. I just wish I would have got a little bit earlier, see if I could have run with Ernesto, but he ran a good race, and I'd just like to congratulate him and thank my sponsors real quick. FMF Honda, Arai, Thor, Alpine Star, Dunlop, CTI, Smith, and just my dad and everyone that's helped me along the way.
All right, good ride. Let's go over to Davey Coombs. He's with third place Tyler Evans.
Thanks, Marty. Tyler, you're a hard-working privateer, and I know this has got to be the sweetest feeling. Congratulations. Second time in your career on the podium.
Thanks a lot. It feels so good to get back up here. If my dad's watching, I'd like to thank him and my mom. I just like to thank them a lot. Really appreciate what they've been doing for me.
I know that you come out in your own van, you try to ride the 125 class and the 250 class. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but tonight's perfect.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't qualify on the 250, but hey, this makes up for it all, so I'm happy.
There's Mike LaRocco from South Bend, Indiana. You can bet this crowd is going to be rooting for him. It's the 250 main coming up next.
Used to be, you could customize any part of your bike, except the tires. But now, create a striking design from the ground up with the bold new Cruise Max from Dunlop. Performance and style, with custom options like classic black, wide white, or raised white leather. Whichever design you choose, you'll make a statement without saying a word. Cruise Max from Dunlop.
Out here, you don't worry about running out of gas. You worry about running out of dirt.
Temperature's dropping pretty quick. It's now or never. Data rolling. We're locking on subject. We're losing them. Copy that? Stay on target. This guy's nuts. Looks like we're gonna need a bigger mountain.
Golf Digest presents 50 ways to lower your score.
To get greater distance, turn your right foot out. For a better backswing, don't slide. Turn your hips instead.
Now, lower your score, drive longer, hit straighter, and play your best golf ever with the 50 new stroke-saving tips in every Golf Digest. Call now for your risk-free trial issue. If you like it, get 11 more issues, 12 in all, for just $19.97. Plus, get this stroke-saving video free.
Call 800-417-1200. Pace Supercross, brought to you by Toyota Trucks, with you for the long haul.
Jeremy McGrath, can he be beaten? Welcome back to Pace Supercross. Paul Page with David Bailey. And we'll take a look at the grid and the riders in this main event. Jeremy McGrath, of course, Mike LaRocco. The two key players, we've been watching them throughout the run. Lusk and Pichon. Ward and Albertine. And of course, Ricky Carmichael and Jimmy Button. And here is the rest of that 250C starting grid, but a little change here.
Well, what happened was Kevin Cry, number 52, he was riding both classes. There's a 125 division. He was riding that as well. He crashed. He won't be able to ride the main event here, and in the event that happens, they don't fill the spot. So we'll have 19 riders here rather than 20.
McGrath very much the guy to beat here tonight, but the man who may in fact try to get that job done is Mike LaRocco. There he is. He's a man on a mission. He's not won this year. He's hoping that skill and the Hoosier crowd will help. When most people think of South Bend, Indiana, the football traditions of the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame come to mind. But now, South Bend has another claim to fame. One of the best Supercross riders in the world, Mike LaRocco.
It is more fun. I jump more stuff than I would have even considered years ago, and I feel a lot more confident on the bike.
LaRocco is no Johnny-come-lately to motorcycle racing. He's won 2 national outdoor titles, and he's finished in the top 10 9 times in 10 years of Supercross. He's currently 2nd place in the Pace Supercross points standings.
Well, for me, I mean, I've learned maybe patience, and I've learned what it takes to win and to be there every week.
Away from racing, Mike stays busy at home running his race team. It wasn't long ago that riders weren't supposed to be married and have families. That kind of stuff was for after racing. But with the success of LaRocco and fellow riders Doug Henry and John Dowd, the imaginary age limits are no longer. And family life is a part of a rider's adjustments. Every free moment away from racing, Mike likes to play with his son, Ryder.
Now it's just everything I can do to put the toys away, and the spare time that I have, you know, I spend with Ryder and my wife, and I didn't know what to expect. And I've said it before, I have a lot more respect for parents now than I did before I was one. It's tough work, and I mean, it's full time, and I know I didn't expect that at all.
And already, little Ryder wants to be like his dad.
Not that it was yesterday, but when I was riding the little bikes, and just not so sure if I'm ready to start over, but he's going like crazy on those little plastic bikes, and if you look close, you probably see him racing around the pits.
After riding for almost no compensation last year, to prove to himself and others he could still do it, Mike LaRocco isn't ready to leave the sport anytime soon. Well, you can see they're very definitely in favor of a victory by Mike LaRocco. Very popular in this state, worked his way up to the top ranks of Supercross, and still calls his home South Bend, Indiana. But of course, there's Jeremy McGrath. There is LaRocco. McGrath will be right next to him as they're ready to go.
The first 3 spots all the way to the inside, which I've mentioned all evening, really has an advantage in that tight first corner. Whoever comes into the inside, even if they don't get their first ball, they come out in good shape. McGrath has lined up 3 spots from the far inside. It's LaRocco, then Larry Ward, and McGrath, Ezra Lusk.
McGrath came into this race almost casual after scoring that 6th championship. The 30 board tells him 30 seconds to go. They'll turn it sideways. They'll be ready to go. But then, after being challenged very early on, he got angry, and that was a mistake for almost everybody in this field. So now McGrath is focused. LaRocco is ready to go. Everyone is at the gate. Focus is down at the gate right now. It will drop, and off we go. Pace Supercross at Indianapolis. Signboard sideways now. Here we go. Oh, they stream tight into the corner. Several off the side, several just before that.
McGrath, Larry Ward, LaRocco are all down in the first corner.
So all the key players that we have mentioned are out and well behind now, so it's going to be catch-up. But this can only be inspiration for the man on the blue bike, Mike LaRocco.
What an advantage for Damon Huffman right there in the green. Ezra Lusk, number 4 in the red Honda. Lusk was fast in the qualifying, winning his heat.
Lusk on the Honda, the bright red bike, tries to challenge Damon Huffman.
Looked to me like the pace of Lusk in his heat race was a little bit faster than that of McGrath. He didn't have to come through the pack, which helped, but Lusk was the only guy that I thought could challenge McGrath. Now a lot of riders can, with McGrath coming from behind.
Number 5, the 3rd bike in the shot from time to time is Francis Mikel Pichon. We're going to back show you the whole shot. Now look at this. Actually 2 different incidents. One going down on the inside and several on the outside. Was one on the inside that mattered.
Now the inside, I thought would be the better place to start. Those guys were all so careful. They all tried to stop and turn tight at once. They all hit each other and piled up the domino theory. McGrath was the first to get up. This is the view from Steve Lamson. There's number 37 in the yellow, Phil Lawrence, the privateer, right ahead of him over the triple.
Oh, look at that. So back at the front, 31, Huffman challenge. Lusk gets him. So the red number 4, Lusk goes to the front of the field. So an incident early on takes out some of the key players, or at least moves them to the back. And then Huffman takes the lead. Now he falters backward, and Ezra Lusk is the leader. We'll be right back.
It's late in the evening. You're driving on one of Loudoun County's back roads, and in an instant, car trouble. Fortunately, there's Coons Sterling Ford Car Care Center. They're open until 1 a.m. because they know car trouble can hit any time. Coons Sterling Ford has always been #1 with your car care. We match our competitors' prices on service, and we repair all makes and models. And now Coons Ford introduces Around the Wheel, selling you the best tires and brakes for your car. Coons Car Care Center. You'll find us working late to get you back on the road.
We depend on our vehicles for just about everything, and the life and safety of your vehicle depends on quality preventative maintenance. At Texaco Express Loop, we're dedicated to providing car care at its best. Our experienced technicians will give your vehicle an 18-point star service oil change using Haviland Formula 3 motor oil. We're conveniently located, open 7 days a week, and you don't need an appointment. And every time you visit Texaco Express Loop, we become partners in helping the Loudoun community. Texaco, a world of energy.
But everyone calls me The Rick. I'm talking to ESPN.com to maybe I put a prospectus of some potential clothing that I wanted to maybe go half-seas on them, and we can go half-seas on the profits. This is a putting jacket. I got the copyright, of course, but it's a jacket made from AstroTurf that doubles as a putting green. And, yeah, I know people think, oh, it's silly, but, you know, there are people out there who want stuff like this.
Back in Indianapolis, the main event for the 250cc's 20 laps. Ezra Lusk is the leader. There are your top 5. Lusk now being challenged by Mikel Pichon of France. Huffman, the early leaders, drop back to 3rd.
Well, that's still a pretty good position for him. I think really what he was hoping for is a top 3. Try to finish on the podium and improve a little bit each week. We're looking at McGrath, 14th place. He's moved up quickly, but not quickly enough to challenge the Hondas out front.
Now back up to the front, the fight for 3rd. The green 31 is Huffman. Tim Ferry from Florida on 20. The yellow jersey just behind him.
The top 3 riders right now are factory riders. They get everything taken care of. Their mechanics work on their bikes out of the big rigs. Tim Ferry is the first privateer. He does everything on his own. He has to cover his own expenses. He has sponsors, but not nearly the backing of the factory riders, and he is taking it to him right now.
Always great to see a privateer move like that. Here's Mike LaRocco. Again, he's back in the field. Currently 15th, trying to catch up as well. Part of that early incident. Took down LaRocco, took down McGrath. Gave the lead over to Damon Huffman. The lead finally taken by Ezra Lusk. Lusk now is in front. The red number 4. There's Huffman.
Some people call it luck. I call it taking advantage of an opportunity, putting yourself in the right place at the right time. And Huffman has needed a break. He's gotten one here. Ferry, if he can hold his position, will improve by 1. A 4th would be his best ever. And another privateer follows Ferry. Number 28, Heath Voss. This is by far his best performance if he can hold it.
Battle for the lead tightens up. Lusk, Pichon, Huffman, 1, 2, 3. There's Ezra Lusk.
Ezra's starting to pull away, Paul, slightly from his teammate Pichon. Long ways to go.
Pichon with Huffman right behind him on 31, the green bike.
McGrath still has not been able to move up behind this battle. Lusk, all he's got to do is ride a mistake-free race. He should be okay. There's McGrath.
McGrath's blue Yamaha.
He's actually been passed by number 3 in the red, LaRocco, just went by. McGrath, LaRocco, Larry Ward all went down in the first corner, and McGrath was the first one to get up, and now you can see number 3 right there, LaRocco, has worked his way around. So
we started the run with an incident that took out a couple of the key players, put them well back in the field. We watch them now. One is the newly crowned champion, 6-time champion, Jeremy McGrath. Mike LaRocco, the other, on number 3, just ahead of him. Damon Huffman was able to take the lead early on, but then he was passed by both Ezra Lusk and Mikel Pichon.
Number 37 in the yellow right there, Phil Lawrence, another privateer. And then the 2 factory riders, LaRocco and Jeremy McGrath, what they call satellite teams. It's not the factory team, it's the factory connection team, an aftermarket company that came up and has been battling with the factory teams. Also McGrath. Mazda Chaparral stepping in there to fund that team. McGrath at the head of it. Handing them 2 titles in the past 2 years.
McGrath, for the moment, seems content to let LaRocco take point on this charge up through the field. One that they both have to be a little careful of. Certainly the other riders may be aware that they are in the back, and in fact may have these 2 coming through, but then again they may not, or they may not care.
When you're out there in the race, everything pretty much changes. Right now McGrath's following one of his best friends, Phil Lawrence. I'm pretty sure he's not going to go in there and give him an elbow. He's going to probably try to get around him as nicely as possible. But he needs to do it quick if he wants to have a chance at the podium. The win here, I don't see any way Jeremy can come from this far behind. We're too late in the race.
Watching Jeremy McGrath as he works his way forward in the field, following Mike LaRocco, but they are way back. Why are they back? Well, on the very first lap, we had 2 separate incidents in the first corner. Damon Huffman came out with a hole shot, took the lead. Then Ezra Lusk battled him. Pichon came around Huffman as well. And that leaves George's Lusk out in front of this field. And he has a reasonable lead on Pichon.
Another thing that's a bonus for Ezra right now, if he can hang on to the lead here, even if he just stays in front of McGrath, regardless of where he finishes, is that Triple Crown, the series within a series. If he finishes ahead of McGrath, he'll win that points battle with McGrath and pick up an extra $25,000 tonight. I'm sure that's motivating him.
The red Honda, that's Pichon of France, currently in second place. Yeah, the Vans Triple Crown, they selected 3 events. Anaheim, Houston, and this event. Somebody could sweep all of them. He was going to be mega rich, but now it's down to a mere $25,000. That'd be just fine. Marty Reed?
Wait, you mentioned Mikel Pichon. He's been in the Honda doghouse recently. They have been not happy with his performance. In fact, earlier this week, after 10 minutes of practice, he left saying, I just don't have the fire right now. Well, it has been a disturbance on the team. They're not happy at all. They must have lit a fire on him because right now he is closing in on Ezra Lusk.
I wonder if that was anything like, better do well in these last 2 races of the season, or who knows?
Well, they have ways of motivating you. But I think at Honda, it was a track record that they had up until they lost Jeremy McGrath.
Well, look, it is Pichon coming down on top of Ezra Lusk, the leader. There's third place, the green bike. That is Damon Huffman, California. The Kawasaki back in front. Lusk.
There's something about riding for the big red team that makes you work a little bit harder because they've had so much success over the years. Plus, Pichon is surrounded by great riders. Kevin Windham, who's not here with because of an injury, but they've got the talent on that team. So if you're low on the totem pole, it forces you to work a little bit harder. Pichon has obviously tried to regroup, and now he's got a chance at the win here.
We watch the battle for the lead. It's Honda, Kawasaki at the front. First, second, third. Lusk, Pichon, Huffman. Tim Ferry out of Florida sits in fourth. Jimmy Button from Arizona is in fifth. We continue to track 2 back in the field. The progress of Mike LaRocco and Jeremy McGrath.
I think Lusk has the speed, Paul, to pull away a little bit more. And I don't know if he's really motivated to do it. As long as he can keep a little bit of breathing room here over his teammate Pichon, I don't think he'll be that inclined to go out and take chances. Just make sure he keeps a little bit of a lead, doesn't make any mistakes.
At the halfway point, 10 laps to go. Marty Reed.
Down here with Mike Gosler, mechanic for Ezra Lusk. He just showed him 54 seconds. He's running real smooth.
Yeah, he did 1 56-minute lap time, and all the other ones are 54, so he's really consistent. Making a couple mistakes, but he'll probably settle down this last part of the race.
You got to be pleased, though, also. I mean, the way that Pichon is coming on, I know there's been some turmoil on the team.
No, there hasn't been any turmoil between the riders. It's actually pretty good. There's those 2 up front, you know. They know what to expect from one another.
Guys, while you're watching this outside on the battle, we could point out one other thing. Gosler's been taking a little heat from some of his fellow mechanics. Go ahead. It's got to take it. Take it.
54. That's a pretty hot time back in the field. We got to look at McGrath. This is John Sebastian Waugh. He just dropped the bike.
Well, he went down because they went into a big cluster into that corner. McGrath passed 3 riders at one time. in the same corner. So he has moved up inside the top 10 now. He's on the back wheel of Heath Voss.
So it is Ezra Lusk out in front while LaRocco and McGrath try to work their way forward. We'll be right back.
Never before has there been a cruiser as comfortable as the Suzuki Intruder 1500 LC. A bike so smooth, so impressive, you'll want the end of the ride to be just the beginning.
Beauty, adventure, drama. All these and more can be yours in the wonderful world of art. And with this free art test from Art Instruction Schools, you can find out if you have the interest and desire needed to become a serious art student. To get your free art test without cost or obligation, call this toll-free number. Don't delay. Call this toll-free number now. Call 1-800-344-8300.
Every Friday, ESPN unveils a new profile in the countdown of the 50 greatest athletes of the century. This week, the Mick. From the plains of Oklahoma to the Badlands of the Bronx, Mickey Mantle etched his name in Yankee history. From his raw country power through his brilliant but injury-plagued career to his untimely death, Mickey Mantle proved his mettle time and again, both on and off the field. Sports Century's 50 Greatest Athletes. Number 37, Mickey Mantle. Friday at 10:30 on ESPN. Presented by General Motors.
Back at Indianapolis, still keeping an eye on Jeremy McGrath on a desperate ride to try to catch the front of the field and take the lead. Currently occupied by Ezra Lusk.
Well, while Lusk cruises out front, still keeping the same margin over his teammate Pichon, McGrath has moved to 7th. And he is passing riders not 1 at a time, but 2 and 3 at a time. And the crowd is, that's the battle to watch right now, because out front they've been pretty evenly spaced.
Mikhail Pichon, Damon Huffman second and third. Huffman drops it. Huffman's down, and Huffman may be hurt.
He looks a little shaken there, Paul. Not in a hurry to get up. So here comes Button, number 10 in the blue. He'll pick up a position. That moves Tim Ferry, the privateer, up into 3rd place.
That'll move Ferry to 3rd, Button to 4th. Nathan Ramsey in 5th, and Jeremy McGrath now 6th. Here's a look at it again.
Oh, Huffman just hit one of those whoop-de-doos, we call it, or moguls. Did a big nosedive, stuck the front wheel right into the bottom of one of the next ones coming along, and front forks just were not long enough to soak that up.
Huffman got the whole shot, was the early leader after LaRocco, and McGrath got in trouble on the start. Lusk able to come around Huffman, take the lead. Now Huffman all but out of the fight with that fall. Mikhail Pichon in 2nd, Tim Ferry up to 3rd. We'll take a look at him now. There he is, number 20. The yellow jersey, blue bike. Having a great ride. Boy, that's a good ride.
I talked to him after the warm-up this afternoon, and they keep that string going. He wanted to get a 5th, then he wanted to improve on that. Boy, will he. This will be the first podium in his 250 career. He has no challengers behind. He's got a good 10 to 12 seconds for the next rider, which is going to be McGrath in a moment. So McGrath has a chance at 4th while Lusk leads.
And with 7 to go, here's McGrath beginning to work on Nathan Ramsey. This is the battle for 4th. Can Jeremy McGrath do it? Can he come through the entire field and make it all the way to the front? He's very close now, and he's got 6 laps of time left.
Never say never with McGrath. This guy is just amazing. We saw what he did in the heat race. He can work magic. It's because he never gives up. He's so aggressive every inch of the racetrack, which makes the riders in front of him nervous. He just carves through them like they're not even there.
Jeremy McGrath, number 1, who got involved in an incident on the first lap. So did Mike LaRocco. They've had to cut their way back through the field. Ezra Lusk has taken the lead here. McGrath now runs in 5th, working his way all the way from the back.
Ramsey right there. A 125 championship title on the smaller bikes in the West Coast. They're in the green, McGrath in the white. Got the inside.
McGrath still working on Nathan Ramsey. By the way, you'll catch LaRocco, who's sitting just behind this fight. Here comes McGrath around him. And unbelievable now in fourth. Ramsey will have to deal with LaRocco next.
Looked like McGrath could have made that pass a little sooner when he had the inside and the left-hander, but he just, out of respect for Nathan Ramsey, decided, I'll wait. I'll be patient.
Cross the finish line jump. 5 to go now.
Now right there, the number 7 in red of Larry Ward and McGrath, they started side by side about 15 minutes ago. Now McGrath is lapping him.
1 week ago, number 1 Jeremy McGrath earned that number 1 plate, the sign of the 250cc champion once again. His luck this evening, great in the heats, terrible in the main. But still, he's going to make the best of it, trying to chase down this man, Ezra Lusk, who is the current leader. Mikael Pichon, you haven't seen much of him. He sits back in second.
I think Lusk was just patient, made sure to keep just enough of a lead, as I talked about earlier, just on that cruise control mode. Felt like eventually his conditioning, his ability to maintain that pace would get to Pichon, and it has.
Honda stopwatch now. We'll put it on the leader as he comes around. There goes Lusk looking back for number 5, Pichon in second place. There he is. So the interval's just under 6 seconds. 20, Tim Perry is third. There he is. Now watch for McGrath.
It's going to be a little while. But it's just still amazing that McGrath has been able to work his way all the way to fourth. There's he is.
McGrath, 21 seconds to make up.
There was one other race on the season where McGrath did the same exact thing he's done here tonight. In Seattle, a big crash in the first turn. Also, that time Ezra Lusk was involved, and Pichon, who run first and second here. They all took off together. McGrath got to fourth. Both Pichon and Lusk crashed and had terrible finishes. So McGrath's ability not only to win the majority of the races is to come through the pack and limit the damage.
Lusk unchallenged at the moment. Pichon, then Perry.
We'll get a lap time right here. 56 seconds. That's not that fast, Paul. It's fast enough, but what it is steady.
He was running 54s early on.
Yeah, he's capable of carving that down a little bit more, but
going back now, this is the fight for 5th. 25 is Nathan Ramsey, and 3 is Mike LaRocco.
LaRocco with a lot more experience. And perhaps a little bit better surge late in the race. LaRocco's known for coming from behind. He's doing it again here. Nathan Ramsey there in the green at 25. He knows that. He's going to have to ride for his life at the end of this race.
Well, you can only think of what a fight this might have been if McGrath and LaRocco had actually gotten through that first turn.
They would have had their hands full with Lusk. But it would have been a three-way battle rather than a runaway for Lusk out front.
There's Ramsey, then LaRocco.
One line developing down the middle of that whoop section. Very difficult to pass. And what you want to do in those sections is just stay close enough to take advantage in other areas of the track where you think you might have a line you can use.
Working on the final 2 laps now.
A couple of spots there in the floor where the dirt has eaten away, and they've gotten all the way down into the plywood.
White flag comes out. 1 to go for Georgia's Ezra Lusk on the Honda.
This will feel good. $25,000 extra tonight. His second win in a row.
Second place, Mikael Pichon, also a Honda.
He won't be in the doghouse anymore.
Running for the line in third, the privateer, Tim Ferry. This is going to be a great finish for him if he stays there on the final lap. Lusk, as the flashbulb, there's Ferry. What a day he has had. Boy, they got to be looking hard at him now.
Everybody on that podium has a huge reason to smile, but I still think Ferry's smile is going to be the biggest.
Back at the front, there's Lusk. You saw him win on ABC a year ago at Dallas. Here he is again. Takes advantage of an opportunity on the start when some of the key players go away. Now he takes a look for a little show-off as he runs for the checkered. Ezra Lusk on the Honda has taken the win.
There's Mike Gosler, his mechanic. He's excited, and McGrath has a reason to smile too. He hates to lose, but what a ride.
Mikel Pichon finished in second, followed by Ferry. Here is McGrath finishing in fourth place. So the win at Indianapolis is taken by Ezra Lusk, the winner of the 250cc main and the Vans Triple Crown, and it's $25,000. We'll be back to talk with all of them.
Wild horses ridden by a madman who eats other men's dreams and backs them with glory chasers. Ivan Ironman Stewart, 16-time winner of the Baja 500.
Discover the amazing hitting secrets of America's finest baseball school in Teaching the Mechanics of the Major League Swing 2. Tommy Mansky's powerful teaching video that features the same revolutionary techniques that have produced baseball world's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams. Parents, players, and coaches have been simply amazed at their students' rapid week-by-week improvement. These award-winning techniques benefit players of all ages and ability levels and make a valuable addition to any coach's library and a great gift. At just $29.95, call now.
Don't miss a beat of the heart-pounding, heart-breaking action. To order, call DirecTV at 1-800-DirecTV or Prime Star at 1-800-Prime Star.
Pace Supercross is brought to you by Suzuki. During Suzuki Fest 99, get $400 worth of free accessories and great financing on selected models. And by Honda Motorcycles and the 1999 Honda Race Team. Honda, ride red.
Well, now we take a look at the top 10 for you. Ezra Lusk, of course, takes the win. Two key rides, though, with Jeremy McGrath finishing in fourth. Mike LaRocco coming home in sixth place. What a great ride for those two. What terrible luck at the start. But now let's talk with our winner, Ezra Lusk. Here's Marty.
Surviving the carnage of turn one proved to be the turning point in this one. Did you know what had happened immediately behind you?
No, I had no idea. I know I was getting a little pressure from third place, and I wanted to attack Damon right away and try to get away, and no matter who it was, I was just going to race my own race.
$25,000, that brings a pretty good smile to your face, doesn't it?
Yeah, but, I don't think no money in the world can buy the feeling that I have right now of just being back on top and being back in that race mode. There's no money in the world that can give you that. We got to thank Honda, Dunlop, Fox, and Scott Goggles for doing what they do for us, and they put us up front tonight.
Well, and with that, we will take a look at the point standings. Of course, Jeremy McGrath has already wrapped up his unprecedented sixth championship. Now just one more event to go at Las Vegas. Great ride, though, by Tim Ferry, the privateer. Davey Coombs?
That's right, Paul. It's never easy to be a privateer in any sport. And I tell you, Supercross, it's got to be the worst. But, Tim, I know it had to be all worthwhile for you and your wife, Evie, tonight.
Yeah, I felt really good. I'd like to thank her. I haven't thanked her this year yet. But all my family back at home, Noli and Yamaha worked real good. Pirelli tires hooking up, Azonic handlebars. And I got a lot of sponsors behind me. And I really appreciate it.
I know one of the things that drives you is a chance to get back into one of those big rigs, to be a factory rider again. You think you set the signal tonight?
I hope so. We'll see what happens. Larry Ward did it and didn't get a factory ride, so I'm not expecting anything. I just want to go out and prove myself each week and put my Nolene bike up front.
Well, fantastic job, Tim. Congratulations.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Mikel, we heard about the problems as far as you leaving practice earlier in the week and that things are a little tense right now on the team, but you came back and rode a real strong race today.
Well, yeah. It's been very tough for me the last 2 weeks. I didn't have good races, and I didn't have the confidence I had earlier in the year. And plus, I crashed this week pretty hard in practice, and I did the same thing yesterday in practice, and I had to turn that around. And I figured tonight the track was really good for me. I like the track, and I just need to get a good start, and that's what I did. My Honda was working great, and I'm really happy, to be actually back on the podium because it's been a long season. I'm kind of tired of all the Supercross. It's been very long and the traveling and everything, but coming back on the podium at the end of the year like that, it was really good.
Well, the incident early on was certainly a factor, but still, Ezra Lusk drove a fine, fine race. Come home as the winner in Indianapolis. Congratulations to Ezra Lusk. For David Bailey, Marty Reed, and Davey Combs, I'm Paul Page. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.
ESPN2's big event coverage of Kentucky Derby Week is presented
off the starting cement for their riders. Ricky Carmichael comes in after dominating, winning the first 4 events of the season. Alan Bolin in second place. Let's go down now to Davey Coombs, who's at the starting gate. Davey.
We are about to see an old-fashioned mud race. I'm down here on the starting gate. First 125 motor getting ready to go off. You're not going to believe how bad the dirt is here. There is inches of mud here at Budds Creek. This is what Ricky Carmichael's line looks like off the start. But you know what? Everyone says the same thing. If Carmichael can, in fact, get the start, he's going to keep on rolling.
Let's take a look at the track map.
Well, here's the layout. What you can't see is how bad the conditions are out there. There's the old start. Used to go up the hill. Now it's over to the right. Shorter start, a cement start.